The sky was dark and full of swirling red clouds, casting strange shadows over the rocky planet below. Captain Rian, Earth's prototype explorer, stepped carefully across the jagged rocks, his senses scanning for movement. He had been sent to explore this abandoned world, rumored to hold rare life forms, but he had not expected anything like this. A faint cry caught his attention, soft but urgent, coming from a nearby ravine. Rian crouched low, following the sound, and soon he saw her, a young alien girl, her skin pale with injury, was trying to crawl through the dust, her small hands shaking. Her eyes looked at him with fear, but also a strange hope. Rian's heart quickened. He could see deep scratches on her arms and blood on her clothes. The predators of this world were fast and cruel, and she would not survive long alone. He took a deep breath and made his decision. Ignoring the danger, he ran toward her, calling out softly so as not to startle her. The girl flinched, but did not run. Her large, luminous eyes followed him as he reached her side. "It's okay, I'm here to help," Rian said, his voice calm. He gently lifted her into his arms, noticing how light she was, but also how fragile. Every step he took back to his ship was careful, each movement cautious. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the ravine. Rian froze. The predators had noticed them. Shadowy figures with sharp claws and glowing eyes emerged from the rocks. They moved quickly, surrounding him. His heart pounded. He tightened his grip on the girl and activated his personal shield, a bright blue barrier that flashed to life. The creatures hissed and lunged. Rian dodged with skill, moving swiftly over the rocks. He could hear the girl's shallow breaths, but she did not scream. It was as if she trusted him already. The chase was tense. The predators were relentless, but Rian's training and instincts kept him ahead. Finally, he reached the edge of the cliff where his ship hovered, its engines glowing in the dark. He sprinted up the ramp and slammed the hatch behind him. The creatures jumped and roared, but they could not follow him inside. Rian set the girl down gently on the medical bed. "You're safe now," he said. She looked at him with wide eyes and a small, grateful nod. He examined her injuries. They were serious but not fatal. He could treat them, but he needed to know more about her. "Can you talk?" he asked. She shook her head, pointing at herself, and then at the stars. It was clear she wanted him to understand something, but what? Rian felt a strange connection. He had rescued many creatures before, but never like this. She was different, intelligent, aware. He wondered if she was the key to a new discovery, or perhaps a warning. He had to find out quickly, before anyone else found her, as the ship rose above the rocky cliffs. Leaving the predators behind, Rian looked down at the planet below. The wind howled through the open hatch, and the clouds twisted like living things. He held the girl close, her head resting lightly against his chest. He could feel her heartbeat, small and fast, yet steady. "Don't worry," he whispered. "We'll figure this out together." The girl's eyes met his, and for a moment, there was understanding. A bond had begun, fragile but real. Outside, the red clouds swirled ominously, hinting at dangers yet to come. Inside the ship, the first step of their journey had begun. The ship hummed softly as it drifted through the dark expanse of space. Captain Rian sat near the controls, glancing at the alien girl lying on the medical bed. She was quiet, her eyes half closed, and her breathing slowly evened out. He had patched her wounds, but he knew this was only the beginning. Rian studied her carefully. She was small and delicate, yet there was a strange strength in her posture. Her skin shimmered faintly in the ship's light, almost like tiny stars moving beneath. He leaned closer. "Can you understand me?" he asked. She tilted her head and blinked slowly, as if trying to decide whether to trust him. He offered her a small tray of food, but she only touched it lightly and turned away. Instead, she pointed at herself, then at the control panels, then at the view outside the window. It was clear she wanted him to see something. But what? Suddenly, the ship's sensors beeped sharply. Rian froze, red warning lights flashing. "Unidentified movement detected," the system announced. He quickly scanned the nearby space, but there was nothing visible on the external cameras. A cold shiver ran down his spine. Something was out there, something large, and it was moving fast. The girl stirred and placed her small hand on the console, her fingers glowing faintly. Rian watched in awe. The glow formed symbols he did not understand, but the alarm ceased. The warning disappeared. It seemed she had stopped it, or perhaps warned him of what was coming. Rian felt a strange mix of fear and curiosity. Who was she really? Where had she come from? Why had she been abandoned on that dangerous planet? He knew she was more than just a child in need. She was intelligent, maybe even powerful. The girl then moved toward the viewport, pointing to the stars. She gestured, rapidly, drawing lines with her fingers in the air. Rian tried to follow, noticing patterns like constellations and unknown symbols. She wanted to tell him something, but the message was still unclear. A sudden vibration shook the ship. Rian grabbed the console to steady himself. Incoming object. The sensors warned. He rushed to check the external cameras, and his eyes widened. A small fleet of sleek, alien ships was moving toward them, silent and fast. They were not attacking yet, but they were closing in quickly. The girl's eyes widened, and she pointed at the ships, then back at herself. Then she looked at Rian and nodded. It was a warning, not a threat. Someone was coming for her, and they were very serious. Rian activated the ship's stealth systems, the whole blending with the darkness of space. "Stay calm," he whispered, holding her hand gently. She pressed closer to him, her glowing fingers brushing his arm. He could feel her trust, delicate but strong. Minutes passed like hours. The alien fleet circled them, scanning, waiting, but not firing. Rian realized they were observing, testing, maybe even judging. The girl's eyes shone with an unspoken command, as if she had the power to influence them. Rian sighed, feeling both awe and responsibility. He had saved her life, but now he faced questions he could not answer. Who were these aliens? What did they want? And could he protect her from them? As the fleet slowly withdrew, leaving them alone in the vast emptiness, the girl looked at Rian, her glowing eyes reflecting hope and urgency. He nodded silently, understanding that this was just the beginning. Their journey had grown larger than he imagined, and new dangers were coming. Rian tightened his grip on the controls, glancing at her one last time. "We'll face them together," he promised. The girl's small hand pressed against his chest, as if agreeing. Outside the ship, stars twinkled coldly, and the shadows of the unknown loomed. But inside, a fragile bond had formed, ready to face the challenges ahead. The ship drifted silently through space, but Rian could feel the tension building. The alien girl sat quietly on the medical bed, her glowing fingers tracing the edges of the console. She seemed restless, her eyes flicking to the sensors, waiting. Suddenly, the main screen lit up, showing movement in the distance. Rian's eyes widened. A fleet of alien ships appeared, more elegant and dangerous than anything he had ever seen. Sleek black hulls glimmered with strange lights, and their numbers were far greater than he expected. "Impossible," he whispered, his hand gripping the console tightly. The fleet moved with precision, encircling his ship, yet they did not attack. They hovered, scanning, silent, like predators assessing prey. The girl's glowing fingers rose, and she gestured toward the fleet. Rian watched in awe as the ships adjusted their positions slightly, as if listening to her. It was clear she had some connection with them, some kind of authority or bond. Rian took a deep breath, his mind racing. Were they here to rescue her, or capture her? The tension in the cabin was thick. He moved cautiously, ready to defend, but he did not want to harm her people. A beam of light suddenly extended from one of the lead ships, scanning Rian's vessel. The girl flinched, but did not move away. She stared at the light, then looked at Rian, as if telling him to trust her. Rian hesitated but decided to follow her lead. Slowly, the light receded, and a landing pod detached from the main ship. Descending toward them, Rian watched every movement, muscles tense, ready for anything. The pod landed smoothly, and the hatch opened, revealing a figure bathed in glowing light. The alien leader stepped forward, tall and majestic, their armor shimmering like liquid metal, their eyes locked onto Rian, scanning, studying. He felt a strange mix of fear and awe. Their presence was powerful, commanding, yet not immediately hostile. The girl jumped from the medical bed and ran toward the leader. Rian followed, unsure of what to expect. The leader knelt slightly, acknowledging the girl, and then slowly looked at Rian, their gaze intense, but calm. It was not a threat, but a challenge. Rian swallowed hard. I saved her," he said simply, unsure if they would understand. The leader's glowing eyes studied him, then shifted toward the girl, who touched her forehead to the leader's chest. A silent communication passed between them, a bond that Rian could not understand. Minutes passed, like hours. Rian felt exposed, waiting, until finally the leader straightened and nodded slightly. Their gesture spoke volumes. It was not only gratitude, it was respect. They recognized his courage and the kindness he had shown. The other ships slowly descended, and more aliens emerged, curious and cautious. The girl ran among them, pointing and laughing softly, her injuries forgotten for a moment. Rian watched, amazed. He had not expected such a strong, intelligent people to exist, and he realized their gratitude was deeper than he imagined. Yet, even as relief settled over him, a shadow passed over the stars outside, hinting at dangers. Beyond this planet, Rian knew that their encounter was only the beginning. Their journey together would face trials he could not yet see. The leader finally spoke, though not with words. Their gestures and lights formed a clear message. The girls' life was protected, but there were responsibilities to come. Rian felt the weight of the moment, understanding that this small act of kindness had changed more than he knew. As the tribe gathered around the girl, welcoming her home, Rian stood at the edge of his ship, watching the alien people, feeling both pride and apprehension. The stars beyond seemed darker, deeper, and full of secrets, but inside, a new chapter had begun, one that would test him, challenge him, and define his place among the stars. The alien village shimmered under strange, glowing lights as Rian followed the girl from his ship. Every step felt surreal, the ground soft and almost alive beneath his boots. The tribe moved around them gracefully, their gestures and glowing symbols communicating silently, yet clearly. The girl ran ahead and stopped before a tall figure, taller than any Rian had seen, their skin glimmering with a faint silver glow. The leader approached him slowly, their glowing eyes studying Rian carefully. He felt the weight of their gaze, as if they could see his thoughts. Rian bowed slightly, unsure of what to do, but wanting to show respect. The leader extended a hand, and to Rian's surprise, it was a gesture of acceptance. Then the girl ran to him, touching her forehead to his chest once more. Sealing the bond, the tribe gathered around, their presence overwhelming but not hostile. Rian noticed subtle gestures of communication, as if they were discussing him. Some looked at him with suspicion, others with curiosity, but none moved to threaten. The girl stepped forward, glowing brighter than before, and seemed to explain something. Rian realized slowly that she was telling them about his actions, how he had rescued her, protected her, and brought her safely to them. The leader nodded, clearly impressed. The tribe's tension eased, replaced with a cautious respect. Rian felt a strange pride, knowing his small act of kindness had earned their trust. Then the leader gestured for him to sit, and Rian followed. The girl sat beside him, her fingers still glowing softly, communicating emotions and ideas he could not fully understand. Yet, he felt the meaning. They wanted him to learn about their world, and perhaps, to help. One of the tribe members brought forward a device, and strange holographic images appeared, showing the girls, people, their planet, and the dangers they faced. Rian watched in awe, realizing that their survival depended on her, and that she was no ordinary child. She held knowledge, power, and a connection to the stars that he could barely imagine. Rian listened as the leader communicated through gestures and light, revealing that rival alien factions had threatened their people, and that the girl had been sent away to protect her. He felt the weight of responsibility pressing on him. He had saved her life, but now he was part of something far larger, something that could change entire worlds. The girl looked up at him, her glowing eyes full of trust and hope. Rian felt a surge of emotion. He understood now that his mission was not just exploration, but protection, compassion, and courage. The tribe had accepted him, but the universe beyond still held dangers. Suddenly, a faint vibration shook the village, subtle but alarming. Rian looked to the girl, who immediately raised her glowing hands, signaling caution. Something was coming, not from their village, but from far beyond, unknown and powerful. Rian's mind raced. He had thought saving her was the hardest part, but now he realized that keeping her safe and earning the tribe's trust was only the beginning. Together, they would have to face threats he could not yet see. Their bond had grown stronger, but the real challenge was just ahead. The tribe gathered around him, welcoming him into their circle. Their glowing hands touched the girl and then him, signaling acceptance. Rian felt a warmth spread through him, a promise of protection and loyalty. But outside the village, the shadows of the unknown stretched across the stars, hinting at trials yet to come. Rian tightened his fists, looking at the girl and then at the leader. I will not fail you, he promised silently. The girl's eyes glowed brighter, as if acknowledging his vow, and in that moment, Rian knew he was no longer just an explorer, he was a protector, a friend, and perhaps a hero. The alien village glowed softly under the twin moons. The air filled with quiet energy. Captain Rion stood at the edge of the settlement, watching the girl move freely among her people. Her laughter echoed through the glowing fields, and for a moment, the danger of the universe felt far away. The tribe's leader approached him, their eyes glowing with respect and curiosity. Rian bowed slightly, unsure what to expect. The leader raised a hand, a gesture that Rian slowly understood as an offer, an invitation to stay. He could return to Earth, or he could join them, becoming part of something greater than himself. Rian looked at the girl, who smiled faintly, her glowing fingers brushing against his arm. He realized how much he had come to care for her. She was not just a life to protect, she was a bridge to a new understanding, a symbol of hope. The leader then gestured toward the stars, showing images of distant worlds, planets under threat, civilizations in danger. Their message was clear. The universe was full of challenges, and with him by their side, they could face them together. Rian's chest swelled with pride and responsibility. He had been laughed at as Earth's prototype, but now he held a place among the stars. He thought back to the first moment he saw the girl, injured and alone, and smiled quietly. It was kindness that had led him here, courage and compassion that had earned him trust. He understood now that being human meant more than strength or technology. It meant heart, empathy, and the will to act when others would not. The girl ran to him, holding a small glowing crystal in her hand. She pressed it into his palm, and Rian felt a pulse of energy. Not dangerous, but empowering. He realized it was a gift, a symbol of the tribe's trust, and a reminder that he was part of their future. Suddenly, a shadow appeared on the horizon. Distant but moving fast, Rion's heart quickened. He knew that new threats were approaching, challenges that neither he nor the tribe could ignore, but he also knew he was ready. He would face them not alone, but with allies, friends, and a cause worth fighting for. The leader placed a hand on his shoulder, a silent gesture of respect. The girl's glowing eyes met his, full of trust, hope, and expectation. Rion nodded, feeling a determination he had never known. He would protect her, the tribe, and perhaps the universe itself. As the twin moons rose higher, casting silver light over the village, Rian realized that his journey had changed everything. From a single act of kindness, a ripple had spread across the stars, connecting lives, forming bonds, and showing that even one human could make a difference. Rian tightened his fist, looking up at the stars. I will not fail, he whispered. The girl pressed her hand against his chest again, her glow brighter than ever. And for the first time, Rian felt a sense of purpose that reached beyond himself. A distant flash caught his eye. Unknown ships appearing far beyond the village. The universe was vast, full of dangers and mysteries. Yet inside him, Rian felt hope, courage, and a bond stronger than fear. He had started as Earth's prototype, laughed at and underestimated. But now, he was a protector, a hero, and a symbol of human strength. The girl smiled up at him, and Rian returned it, knowing that together, they would face whatever came next. The stars stretched endlessly above, full of possibilities, and the journey of Rian and the alien girl was only just beginning.